Day 40 of 100 Days of Surrender. 40. It's February 6th. I went MIA for a couple of days, super swamped with work, busy and prepping for Mexico. I'm leaving in about 5 minutes to hit Mexico until the weekend. So I don't know if I'll get any videos up or not. I will do my best, but I'm not so sure that's going to happen. Um, but I'll have lots to share when I get back. So day 40, I want to talk about confidence. We have Valentine's Day coming up. Sarah Rose and I are doing an event called Vagentine Day. So I want to talk about confidence. It has been one fucking long journey for me to get to the state of confidence that I actually have now. And I do not give a single flying F what anybody thinks about my physicality, my beauty, my sexuality, my sensuality, any of those things. Whereas I always did. And like many of us in the past, I used sex as power, not for love. No, no, not for love, for power. Totally transparent. Let's just throw it all out there. Um, totally did. I will prowl your body and do the best fucking shit because it puts me in a place of power. And I'm a very sensual creature. Um, so that's what I used to do. Now it's completely different. It took me a long time to learn how to receive, how to ask for my needs instead of dominating, controlling, and doing whatever the fuck I want to do. My friends used to call me, this is way too much TMI, but here we go. It's inside scoop. My friends used to call me the scarf bandit because if I liked someone, I would wear two silk scarves braided together. And that's what I would use to tie them up later to do whatever the heck I wanted to do, what I wanted to do to them. Because if they were tied up, it was all on me. And it was a running joke. Scarf bandit. That was quite a few years ago. And any of the gentlemen who have been tied up by me, you're welcome. Um, but it was a thing, and it was me not knowing how to receive. It was if I'm in control, if I'm the prowess, that dragon energy, then I get what I want. I get it the way I want it, and I don't have to be open to receiving or being vulnerable. Um, so it took me a long time to flip the script on that. And I've been processing a lot of that because we're doing the Valentine's Day event on the 13th, where we're going to be talking about how to let that crazy, confident, like all about confidence, let her surface, let her lead the way. And that's not to say you're going to have it 24/7, but most of the time, yeah. Um, so my journey has been a wild one. I've shared a little bits and pieces of this. I was very underweight as a child. I got picked on for that. And then I got sick and I was very overweight. And then I went into bodybuilding, probably the highlight of my ego there, but not the true confidence. And then I ended up getting overweight again. And that's when everything started to switch. And it's only been about 3 years-ish, maybe 4 now, where I can truly say I love myself and all that it is. And my confidence radiates from me to the point where small-minded people or weak people think I'm egotistical. Not my problem. I love my damn self. I have this like what a lot of the spiritual community refer to as the dark feminine. I don't think it's a negative thing or an egotistical thing. I just own my power. And it took me forever to do that. And it's kind of all surfacing right now as one, I'm prepping for Mexico, because I will walk through the airport like a motherfucking boss. And, you know, putting in like bikinis into my bag and all those things. I'm like, oh yeah, like this isn't something I would have done years ago. And being in a new relationship and expressing my desires and my needs and asking for them to be met and demonstrating this is what it looks like for me. So it's sort of all on the surface and fresh for me right now. I'm really excited about this event. And I will say to you a couple of different things that'll gear you there. One thing that I came to terms with a long time ago is my body is not my identity. It is my experience. And I get to do whatever I want to it, including tattooing my clam on my finger. So it's a running joke about, I call, down there, my clam. She's my clam burger. She's very chatty. She has her own mind. She's got her own direction. Um, and often she just wants to be jammed. She's like, okay, somebody jam this. Like, let's do this. Not that I'm okay, anyways, it doesn't even matter, but yeah, there it is. So she's on my body. And it's just a little joke that nobody knows about. They think it's because I've lived like on beaches and stuff like that. No, it's my clam. Um, and so yeah, my body is not my identity at all. Who I choose to be is my identity. Who I choose to be. And we have the choice to be whoever, whatever we want in this world, whatever we want. And I spent most of my life being highly insecure, very timid, no voice, no ability to receive or ask. And that drastically shifted over the last like 8 years, but even more so the last like really solid 4 years. And it's very interesting. I can remember a very defining moment when I was like, oh man, I remember I came home from Costa Rica, totally fine there because I was in a bikini. You don't think about anything. And then you come back to Canada where the expectations are completely different, and trying to calibrate or readjust to the freedom that I had, where you don't think about your body, to all of a sudden being in a society that's like, oh, you don't belong wearing that. And I'm 40 something and I'm curvy and whatever, right? So I remember having a lot of conversations with my sisters about why am I obsessed about my weight and why won't my body, like I always had this thing of like who I am on the inside is not reflected on the outside. Like it doesn't make sense. Like I see myself differently. And then when I see pictures, I'm like, what the hell? Right. So that was a long navigation of learning to let that go. Start it with don't look for the things you don't want to see. I have a really funny story about that. But don't look for the things you don't want to see. Look for the things you can truly embrace and love and honor and respect about yourself. That was a huge transition for me. Like, don't go look at your stomach right away. Don't do it. Don't look at your like head and south ass. Don't do it. Look for the things you love and celebrate those things. And a lot of mirror work. Every time I wash my hands, like you go pee, wash your hands. Every single time I'm in front of a mirror, I pause and I look at myself and I'm like, I fucking love you. Like, and I do. But I started with just like, I love you. Your eyelashes look great today. Or I love you. Great outfit. Or like whatever I could find that I could celebrate. And then that turned into, and it like, no joke. Every time I walk by the mirror, I'm like, fuck, you're gorgeous. God, I love you. And I actually mean it. So I'm in a totally different wavelength now because of all of these little tools, right? Um, so yeah, what else do I want to share? It's just it's so interesting how things surface. And when I went through that phase 4 years ago of being neurotically obsessed with my weight again, and like guys, I have tried everything. I have done drugs, not drugs, like but like diet pills, done every diet pill on the market. I've worked out like a champ. I've burned myself out with cardio. I've deprived my body on diets. I have done everything except for throw up my food, pretty much. Massive body dysmorphia my whole life. And I let all of that go. And it surfaced again 4 years ago because it wasn't healed. And that's what's going to happen. The things that are surfacing are for you to heal. They're not for you to force, to shove through, to create these drastic changes. It's for you to look at and learn to love, honor, respect, accept. And then it starts to morph on its own. So I don't want you shaming your bodies or your sexual desires or any of those things. I want you embracing this. Super stoked about being able to hold this event with Sarah Rose. And writing all my notes and stuff, but it's just sitting on the surface for me today. And I'm like, oh, and I feel like a boss today. I feel empowered. I feel like me, like fully me. There's nothing fucking with my head today, which is great. And I'm not caught up in La La Land or anything. I'm plowing through my life and looking at everything I want to see right now, whether that's my client success, which is amazing, my schedule, the fact that I'm getting on a plane and going to Mexico to meet one of my favorite clients, the fact that I get to do this for a living, the fact that my jeans are like all ripped and show my tattoos, that I'm having a great hair day, that, just all the things that I want to see. I'm celebrating hardcore today. So I really want that for you too. Look for the things you do want to see, not the things you don't. Celebrate the fuck out of it. The other really cool thing, the little tip that I'll share, which I don't even know if I have enough time to share this, but I'll try. When I was in high school, I was really, really, really shy and very, like, I just thought the whole world was judging me the way my birth mother did. I was very, very skinny, like gross skinny, like undernourished skinny. And I got picked on a lot for that. And my mom was my first bully. So it started from a very young age. And I remember her being like, "You're skinny fat. You don't even have that." Like just torment to my soul. And I had no confidence. I had no worth. Right. And if we do that to our daughters or our humans, our babies, they're going to seek love and affection in the wrong way. And we're going to go down paths that are not good for us. So good job. Let's not do that. Right. I would never want to do that to another human. I would never want them to think that they were unworthy and therefore put themselves in dangerous situations. My first rape, I was in my teens because I had no ability to really hold the word no because I had no worth. Not my first rape, my second rape, sorry. My first one was when I was 4. Um, and pressured into sex and, like all of these things that are not healthy for us, not owning our boundaries, our power, our truth. So how much smack talk are you doing to yourself right now? How much judgment are you doing to yourself right now? Whether that's about not managing your day properly, talking to someone, whether it's about your body shaming, whether it's about who am I to be this in the world, whether it's about, oh, I'm, 40, 50 something, I can't possibly dress like that. Or like I just got in an argument a couple weeks ago with a drag queen because I wear eyeliner on the bottom of my eyes and I'm 44. And I'm like, I fucking like it. So don't. I didn't ask for your advice. I didn't ask for unsolicited guidance here. And I've had one of my friends do that to me as well, who's really great at makeup. She's a total millennial. And I'm like, I'm not asking for your advice. This is how I like it. That's why I'm doing it. Leave me the fuck alone. Boundaries. Um, and I think it's so interesting how people feel like they can comment on what you are choosing to do with your body. I have a half-shaped head. I get lots of people being like, why don't you grow it out? Why don't you just not give me unsolicited advice? So I'm fiery today, right? So going through this journey of not having any worth all the way through and not even really being able to wear shorts when I was a teenager. I was paranoid that my legs were too big. And I've got stick legs, like just fucking corrupt. So how much are we still adding to that story of there's something wrong with us? There's no such thing as a perfect human. There isn't. And there's no such thing as, I'm having the biggest deja vu in this moment. So bizarre how that happens, eh? But there's no such thing as like what we should be. We're here to be uniquely different and celebrate each other. So I really want you to process today and over the next week. Catch yourself every time you're talking smack to yourself. Whose narrative is that? I don't want it to be yours. This is what helped me move into really, truly honoring myself. I want you to look for the things you want to see and celebrate them every time you're in front of the mirror. Every time you wash your hands, a little love drop, okay? I want you to remember that your body is not your identity. It's simply carrying what you've asked it to carry emotionally. It's carrying your burdens. It's carrying your strife, your stress. It's carrying all of the stories that you tell it and have told it for your whole life. So it's just going to reflect you. It's going to reflect the story that you're giving it, what you're telling it to be. And it will always be what you tell it to be. So go into a little bit of like honoring yourself, touching yourself, admiring yourself. Let your body, like as we move towards Valentine's Day, let's up the ante. I want you to love and honor your physical form. It's doing exactly what you have asked it to do. And once I identified that, there's all these layers to healing. But this is a big one. Once you identify what you've asked your body to do and become, the story changes really fast because it's like, oh, that that's not very nice. It's its own thing. So I love mine. I've pimped it up. Clearly, there's tattoos everywhere. I honor it. I let it dress like the badass it wants to be. I pleasure it. I celebrate it. I happily show it off. And I let it do what feels right for it. So yeah, that's day 40. Day 40. How is it 40 days into this already? Crazy. And my life is totally different in 40 days. It's amazing. All right, I'm going to do my best to post some other videos while I'm away. Like I said, I don't know what my schedule really looks like just yet. But I will do my best. And if you don't see me, I will be back next weekend. I promise. With lots of like epiphanies. I always get big epiphanies on the beach. So I think it's a space between Gaia's blood and meat, like her body and soul kind of energy. So I love walking the beach in the morning before I start my day, and it's boom, downloads. So I'm sure there'll be lots to share. All right. Mwah. I love you. For those of you that are in the Galactic membership, it's pre-recorded and it's a whole monthly forecast just for starseeds, broken down day by day. So I won't be live on Tuesday, but I will see you the 14th. And you want to talk about, clams and confidence and self-worth and self-love and demanding your receiving, join our event. Okay. It's all on diamondo.com or Facebook, Instagram. You know where it is. Doesn't even fucking matter. I love you 2 million pieces. Have the best fucking day ever. Bye, guys.